Are you ever in this place where you wonder if you should say something? Like when something has happened to you, something terrible or unjust, or something just not right has happened to you or a loved one, and your heart is beating really fast, and you're like very, very triggered, and you're in this place where you wonder if you should stand up for yourself or if you should just forget about it and go on with your life. This video is about that, and I want to take you with me into my own process right now because I just happened to have this in my life yesterday. I had a doctor's appointment yesterday because I have a very rare genetic disease in my family, and I was supposed to get checked for something about that, and it is a really serious thing. It's not a small thing, it's a life or death issue. So it's not just that I was going there for fun. And this guy turned out to be very rude, very disrespectful, wasn't helpful at all, and didn't help me with the issue, and kind of even told me that I was crazy and that this thing that I had on paper was not real. And it's a really big issue if like living in a system and this man has a voice. Like his opinion kind of matters more to the system than my own, and even like the paperwork that I have. And I was, of course, going out of the practice being super pissed and super like just also a little bit stunned because the way he was talking to me was like, what the hell? Like, I was not even seeing this coming. And I just want to take you with me through the process that I'm going through right now with this. Like, how do I deal with this? How do I deal with being treated like that? That was clearly wrong. Practically, for me, this means right now, do I just forget about it? Do I try to get my test results somewhere else, which means a lot of work, a lot of time? Do I don't know, do I file a complaint about it? Do I go to the officials for it? Because what this doctor did was clearly wrong, and it was like beyond wrong. It was like really, really, really bad. So right now I'm trying to figure out where's my responsibility, what am I able to do and what I'm not able to do. So the first thing I did yesterday is being really aware of how triggered I was, and I was like validating myself. I was validating how I was feeling, and I was like really staying in this place of, this is real, this is really happening to me right now, I'm not making this up. And it was an interesting situation because I remember being in a similar place about 10 years ago with another doctor and doubting myself and being like, maybe I'm wrong. This is the doctor. Like, he's supposed to know better than me. And this time I was so much more clear. I was so much more in my body, and I was, of course, triggered, but I was also totally aware that this was gaslighting, that this was 100% gaslighting, and that there was nothing wrong with me. So that's the first place I would go to just validate yourself. And if you can't validate yourself, or if you're unsure, to talk to someone you trust. And this can also be really helpful to talk to someone you trust, and sometimes it can be helpful to set the container for the conversation before you even start it. Like to go to someone and to say, I'm just needing to get this out now. I just needing to tell you all about how much I hate this person. Because if you don't set this container, it's very likely that people will come in and try to fix it for you before you're even ready to fix it. Because I think it's really helpful to just let yourself get it out first and get the emotion out first and just rant. And this is not everyone is able to be with you in this space while you're doing it, because it can get really intense. And then the next thing is that you really have to be careful not get stuck there and to just, keep complaining and complaining and complaining and complaining. This is more like to get it out, not to bring the situation up over and over again to kind of bath in it and see how bad you can feel about it. And that's really hard to get out of it. And this is also where people can be helpful if they have the abilities to see exactly where you need to come out of it after you've let everything out. So that's what I did yesterday. I just, after this appointment, I just validated myself. I talked to people I trust. I told them all about how bad this was and how much I felt mistreated and how angry I am, and also how desperate I am because I really need those test results. And this guy is just like, oh no, you're just making this up. And today I'm starting to calm down more, but I'm still feeling much too triggered to know I'm ready to make good decisions about moving forward. And I think that's really important to feel into where you are in your own process, because moving forward from being triggered is never a good idea. Like, even if the trigger is totally just, like, even if this thing that happened to you is totally real and wrong, moving from there often leads you into wrong directions. Like, there's a deeper layer of clarity that you have to find first. So for me, I'm not there yet, but I want to tell you the things that I consider while I'm in this process. So I'm looking at my different internal parts, and I have a very strong part that wants to make sure that there's justice. So I'm not okay with this doctor treating people like that. And there's a part of me that really wants to make sure that doesn't happen again. Not even to me, but to, anyone. Because I think sometimes when people go there and they might not have the same life experience that I have in going through those kinds of situations, they could be really confused and they could make very wrong medical decisions for themselves based on what this guy tells them. And it's bad. So that's one thing that I have on my mind. Then, of course, I have my triggered inner child, whatever, that is like really kind of out of for revenge. That's in there as well. Like, I want this guy to feel what he did to me. And that's not a very, very healthy thing to use. But it's there. So I'm just watching it right now and being like, okay, you can have your emotions, but we're not going to use this to go out and do something, because that's a really bad idea. And then there's also a part, and this is a part that's also really important that I want to talk about. That's about my capacity. So I'm really aware that once I start to do anything official about this guy, like talk to the hospital, file a complaint, whatever, there is a lot of things I potentially need to do. So if I do this, I need to commit to it. And there's going to be a lot of energy going towards this thing. And I need to have the energy to do this. And I need to be really aware of the cost that I'm paying for going there. I need to be aware that this is a decision I make, and that there are consequences coming with this decision. That I might have to put a lot of time and effort into this thing, into this complaint thing. And I need to make sure that I do have this time and energy before I do this, because otherwise I'm hurting myself. So this goes way beyond the moralistic standpoint on whether this is right or wrong, what this guy did, or whether I should do something about it. This is about me feeling into my own life and my body, and how much energy do I have right now to do this. And so yeah, that's kind of the perspective I'm taking right now. I wanted to share this with you, just live and fresh as it is happening. I'm not nearly there to make a decision. Keeping all options open at this point in time. And I know that I'm ready to make a decision once I feel like my body starts to calm down. And then there's like this calm clarity that comes at some point that is beyond the anger. And it doesn't mean that the anger goes away. Like the anger and the frustration can be a really good motivation to move, but it needs a balance. It can't be just anger. It needs a balance of clarity in the room so that you're actually knowing what you're doing and you're not just lashing out. So yeah, that's my video on, should you say something? And that's of course not just for this one thing that I'm going through right now. This is for every little situation where something happens and you feel like you should say something. Like even if someone says something that you think is disrespectful or has a really weird opinion about things, those are questions you can ask yourself before you get into a heated argument with someone and in the end you feel like totally drained and you don't know if this was even right. And it depends on the situation. Sometimes it is absolutely right to stand up and to say, this is wrong, this is my value, I need to do something about this, even if there's a cost for me. And sometimes it's more like, no, actually this thing is not important enough for me right now to go so much into it that I'm paying a big price. So that's things you can consider when you're in a similar place. And if you need help with talking through something like that, I'm here. I'm offering coaching sessions. You can look at the link and book me. And also please follow along, give me give me a follow, because it really helps me to get the content out. Thank you very much.